Andrea Stone from Comviva. I'd like to talk to you about managed VAS services, which is essentially a business model that benefits operators and their ability to serve their end customers. So in India and in many emerging markets, maturity is beginning to establish itself. Penetration is expanding rapidly, growth is declining, and in that situation, it's hard for operators to compete. They can no longer really compete on the basis of voice, so they have to look beyond voice to services that can differentiate themselves in the market and that can deliver a superior customer experience, and at the same time deliver that affordably, because many of the subscribers they're trying to reach are in the low-income bracket. So moving away from voice, operators are looking at value-added services, which is essentially any service beyond voice, such as a ringback tone, such as a mobile payment, such as an SMS, such as a mobile game. Now, last year, there were over 1 billion consumers around the world who were using VAS and generating globally around $220 billion of revenue. That's going to increase globally with people doing transactional services, utility services, and entertainment services. This is how operators are going to be able to survive and continue to grow by offering what we call value-added services. This is reflected also in emerging markets. So revenues in emerging markets are going to grow from this space, up to 72 billion in the next 4 years. And India, again, is following that trend and will have 5 billion revenues from VAS by 2016. Now, what does it mean in providing VAS? Operators really have to collaborate with many partners, a bit like in a supermarket where you go to the shelf, there's lots of different things available for you. Subscribers in India and emerging markets will also want to have a wide portfolio of services available to them. Some will be entertainment type, some will be utility, such as paying the bills by the mobile phone or calling a doctor by their mobile phone. And the key, therefore, is to work closely with partners. This is a key for operators, to work closely with partners, to expand the portfolio, and at the same time do this affordably and providing a level of service that is consistent across the different offerings that they provide. And that is a bit of a challenge, because the VAS space is complex. There are many, many different services that are offered today and that will be offered in the future. We talk a lot about mobile marketing and advertising, about content consumption, about how the mobile phone is going to become people's mobile wallet. And what we're beginning to see is that subscribers are going to do everything over the mobile phone. So they will source a product or a service that they want to purchase. They'll be able to order that purchase or buy that purchase, and it'll be fulfilled through the mobile phone. They'll be able to track that. So it's going to be an end-to-end service that they're consuming. And operators also want to be able to enable that themselves. So to do that, they're working with partners. The whole environment and ecosystem is becoming very complex. And at the same time, there is no longer what we call a killer application. So in the past, email was a killer application, SMS was a killer application. If you look at these bubbles, which represent essentially profitability, you can see the top left orange bubble is messaging. So that's a big bubble. That generated a lot of revenue for operators. If you look to the right, you see lots of smaller bubbles, like the mobile payment or the mobile advertising or the mobile music. So there's going to be a lot of services that are going to have to be offered to make up that revenue gap. So operators are working with multiple partners, trying new services. They have to do this quickly to maintain market leadership. And that's a tough job to do by themselves, because they have to have the right skills on board. They have to be able to monitor closely to see what's working well, what's not working well, and to refresh the portfolio, just as a supermarket would their shelves if something wasn't selling. So essentially, they have to do more, faster, and at a lower cost. And at the same time, if you went into an operator's data center, you might see something a bit like this. So they've got many, many boxes, if we can call them that, lots of hardware, lots of wires, lots of partners providing this. The operator might not really readily recognize which box is for which provider, what the service performance level is that they're guaranteeing. Are they even measuring that? And the bigger question is everything interlinked? And I'll talk about that a bit now. If you think you're a prepaid user, for example, you go and you do a top-up, and imagine you do it using an SMS message. And it takes 12 seconds, as in this example of subscriber 1. Because the top-up has to go to the SMSC, has to go up to the top-up platform, has to go to the operator's core platform. The next day they do it using USSD, and it takes 9 seconds. And the day after they use SMS, and it takes 3 seconds because it's a different vendor. There's a disparity in the service experience, and that is not a good thing. So the operator has to have a consistent service, provide a consistent service experience to consumers, because that's what they're increasingly going to judge an operator on. And if they don't do that, they're going to have frustrated customers, they're going to have frustrated vendors, and they're going to have more calls to the customer care center, and that costs a lot of money to serve. So what do we do in this scenario? What we do is say we're going to guarantee an end-to-end service experience. We're going to assure that your service is up and running 99.99% of the time, or 99.9% of the time. That's something that we would agree with an operator. And what we're going to do is track every single node on the network. We're going to see how it's performing. We're going to run what we call synthetic transactions to make sure we can proactively tell if something isn't working. And we're going to alert the partners who are providing these services and tell them to resolve the problem or the potential problem. And by measuring something end-to-end continuously 24/7, you're able to improve the service performance that an end customer experiences. And that's important because if you've got a happy customer enjoying the service experience, they're likely to use more and generate more revenue for the operator. And the operator in turn can look at providing new segments, perhaps segments that earlier they weren't able to address profitably, with services that are relevant, such as in rural communities, the Doctor on Demand service, or the Crop Alert service, or the Weather Report service. So that's what the Managed VAS Services model is all about. It's about improving the service level end to end. And as I say, that enables the operator to focus on VAS and understanding the market better and delivering services that the market wants. And Comviva focuses on managing the value-added services end to end. And the result is increase in revenues, reduction in cost. So this is what we do. The top right pie is quality of service management. So as I was saying, we manage the service performance levels across every partner. So for example, if IDEA works with 20 partners and they provide 50 services, we would be the single point of contact for IDEA in the Indian market. Capacity management, we can help, well, we do help operators save on investing in hardware. We can see if something's being fully utilized or not. We can swap an existing box for another service if we need to increase the capacity on the earlier service. All that helps save money. It saves wasted energy, just waste of resource, waste of human resource, and that saves money and improves the speed at which we can offer new services to the market. And in terms of revenue management, we work with the operator to analyze service performance. We devise campaigns. We measure the success of the campaigns. We work with the operator to reconcile revenue gaps with partners. And that just overall helps the smooth running of the portfolio. And as I say, we manage the partners. And this is how we do it, essentially. This is how we see what's happening across services. We have network operations centers, or as we call them, value-added service operations centers, which are staffed 24 hours. We can see how services are performing. We alert, we track the performance levels, we manage infrastructure investment, we reduce the overall cost of investment. And because we have a pool of talent, can you manage a service, can you not, because you're losing a skilled resource. We don't lose a skilled resource because we are a value-added services company. So what do? We improve speed, efficiency across an operator's deployments. We enable the operator to engage more effectively with customers because they're having a better customer experience. They're enjoying the use of the service. It's performing well. And we've worked with operators in 20 markets, in Sri Lanka, India, and across Africa. And that's for the full managed value-added services portfolio. And some of the results we've seen is much faster turnaround times, faster ability to create new services. These are some of the figures that we've recorded. And when an incident happens, a faster time to resolve because we can see where that incident has happened. So, for example, I was talking about the number of services operators have to manage. In this instance, in India, 70 services across 35 partners. It's very, very complex for an operator or anyone to manage, but we're doing that with one of our customers. Whilst we can't claim direct responsibility for the increase in VAS revenues, the revenues have grown over the period of the engagement. Okay, fine. I can just skip to the end. So we are a global pioneer of managed value-added services. In 2009, we started working with an operator in Sri Lanka. That was the first. 2010, we started working with a large operator in India. And last year, we signed a service deal with a pan-regional operator in Africa. And as well, we offer partial managed VAS services. So whilst we might not do all capacity manning, SLA management, and revenue management, we do one or two of those three. You can read that, but we've got a lot of domain expertise in this space. We work with many operators across the globe, and we think it's very critical that operators actually deliver a better service experience in emerging markets, that they learn from the problems that have happened in other markets, and they take their innovative business models, because this is an innovative business model from the emerging market, just as was the case, if you remember, a few years ago when outsourcing of the network management first happened in India, and that was then exported to other corners of the world. We see this also happening. We're actually actively engaged in a number of opportunities in different markets across the globe. Thank you.
What is your distinguished experience from India?
My experience?
Yeah.
I came here in 2003. I've been working with Comviva for 7 years. I think I have some experience of the Indian value-added service market. Prior to that, I was working in other markets in Asia, Hong Kong, Japan, Europe, altogether 21 years in the telecom space.
So Comviva was formed by Jatayu and Bharti Telesoft. So you're part of Bharti Telesoft? Or?
I joined, as it was then, Bharti Telesoft in 2005. In 2007, we merged with Jatayu, yes.
Okay. So in India, like most of the operators, they are going to have their own SDP platform. SDP, sorry. So Airtel, Idea, Vodafone is also working on one. So how do you see your product growing in this kind of market?
An SDP is a platform. This is a service, and an SDP could be managed as part of this service.
Okay, so you will be providing this service on their SDP platform?
Yeah, we work with many different partners. Many of the leading value-added services providers are supplying their product to the operator, and we're managing that. So we're managing how a ringback tone platform integrates with the whole network, so that if someone buys a ringback tone via an SMS, or they subscribe to it via SMS, that actually happens, and we're managing that flow.
But that is what the SDP also does. It manages the similar kind of services and how they integrate.
SDP means very different things to different people, to be perfectly honest. We offer SDPs for various product areas, like data areas and music areas. And that's a platform, and that would be one entity in a network that would be managed. But the SDP doesn't necessarily manage anything else that interacts with the SDP end-to-end and see across multiple different partners. That would be an SDP that's owned by the SDP provider.
Okay, I think we can have this discussion.
I think that's, honestly, when we talk to people in the market and you say, what do you mean by SDP, they might mean something different. And in some respects, yes, this is a competitive offering to an SDP, but to someone else in the market, it wouldn't be. It would be, their idea of an SDP would be different. It would be something to offer campaigns on demand, or, you know, fast turnaround of service launch.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.